Oh, you weren't recording any of that?
No.
All that funny stuff we said is just garbage?
Or cold
Tom,
openings.
say all the funny things you said that Travis didn't record again.
Said something.
But
that one
say them
thing.
off the cuff.
Well, now it's not off. That's the hard part. Now I feel like I'm on the cuff.
You're a little bit on the cuff.
I'm on the cuff of disaster.
Can you hear Tom? I don't know if I can hear Tom.
I can hear him, but
I hear Dan.
not like I'm hearing me.
All right, guys. There we are.
Wow.
Can you guys hear me?
I've never really...
I haven't
Paid attention to it.
paid much
It's
attention.
Let's launch into episode
Off
number...
The cuff.
okay. This is 12.
12.
This is 12.
Yeah.
Tom, I mean, you could do some introductions, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think with each new episode, we gain...
1 to 2.
Three.
Numbers aren't important.
Oh,
but
right.
I think we gain
Insight
Respect.
into our
Insight.
psyche.
and listeners.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least one new person is probably gonna,
Sweet. So like intro, like what are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
This is a podcast
Good.
about idioms.
Mm-hmm.
And this show is basically kind of an off-the-cuff performance by 3 brothers.
Very
That's
good.
good.
One is a brother-in-law,
Damn
but
it.
we
There
include
it is.
him
Okay.
as a brother. And today we are doing off-the-cuff, which is
Dan's
my
touching my
idiom
leg.
of choice. And so I guess we just dive right into. I got to use it in a phrase.
We like it when there is a scenario. It seems to be
We like it when
popular.
we are given something to
relate
really
to.
sink our teeth
This is the
into
part
it.
where
Take a bite
Travis
out of it.
closes
Like a
his eyes and just really
juicy-
envisions it.
Something
tender piece of meat that we can just
Tenderloin.
something that you can kind of squeeze a lorg guy into, like a
very
scene.
Yeah.
I highly
Yeah,
a
doubt
scene.
Sorg was
Yeah,
wearing cuffs.
I liked the scenes.
Well, we don't know what cuffs are yet.
We don't.
We
Mm.
can't.
Yeah.
It's right now. I mean, I'm thinking it's just wrist area.
Not a cuff link.
Well, that's
You haven't linked.
well, you
those
got handcuffs, but where do they go?
on
the wrists.
your wrists.
Very
So off the cuff.
Because you would know that.
I have been handcuffed, yes, briefly.
good. Yeah. I think we
I
delved
listened to
into
that
that
one,
little
yeah.
story.
Oh, did we talk about that?
Hands down, yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
Mm-hmm. I was
Yeah.
listening to.
Well, we might need to re-edit that one.
We'll just go back into the vault.
Into the
and,
archives, yeah.
Handcuffs go around your wrists
Mhm.
because the cuffs are there. Yeah.
But is that but a shirt cuff is different than a handcuff.
I would hope so.
Yes.
So does cuff mean wrist, off the cuff, this area? Is that what we're talking about?
I don't know of any other cuff contexts.
It must
my
be.
My cuff knowledge is pretty limited. I'm not
I know.
gonna
The
lie.
more I say the word cuff, the more confusing it sounds.
I also think of cough
right
Yeah.
too.
They're spelled differently.
like cover your cough with your cuff is like the backhand.
Yeah, it's like the
cough.
vampire, almost
Cuff
like the
into your-
vampire. Yeah.
Cough into your cuff.
Cough into your cuff. Son, cough into your cuff, please.
Cough into your cuffs, Christopher.
Cuff is spelled C-U-F-F.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
I believe so.
Checking.
From last time I looked
Sure.
it up.
Right.
That's right, Your Honor.
Okay, so cuff, we've already established you're just saying something willy-nilly. There's no thought.
Flippantly.
A lot of
You're
wedding
kinda
speeches are like
winging it.
that.
Mhm.
Oh, you think so?
I can think of
Okay.
several.
I did many like
May have
that.
been.
Do you have that one you
Uncuffed.
wrote at Tom's? for
I did
Tom's
not
wedding?
write it. That's the
Dang
problem.
it. Okay,
That's
I
the
would
cuff.
love to hear that recited.
It might be recorded, but it's not written.
So,
That's for
okay,
sure.
but
That would be a great example of an off-the-cuff
No.
moment.
oh, okay.
My
But if you
best
did
man
write
speech.
it
It would not
it
be
would
off
be on the
It would
cuff.
be
Like,
on
did you
the
write it
cuff.
on the cuff to look to check?
On your sleeve? Is that it?
Oh.
You're writing it as a sneaky.
But
Thanks for listening, folks. Have a great
Travis,
night.
That's
and
No,
no,
that's
no,
on
no,
the cuff.
no,
We're
no,
talking
no,
about off
no.
the cuff.
Off the cuff means it's completely unrehearsed.
And we're back.
And now you're saying somebody writing cheated answers like I'm imagining you did on most of your tests throughout all of your education.
Because you couldn't store it in your brain.
But
So people with bigger wrists, obviously,
huge advantage.
way.
Lorg would have
It's like a
aced
manuscript.
them all. Just a
Exactly.
tablature.
Yeah.
All right, so we know that it means unplanned, ill-prepared, just sort of like what we're
Well,
doing.
then that's
There's no
what we-
script.
Just
Off
sort
the
of
script.
really willy-nilly.
So that's when you've
We
got to bring
Love
in.
to delve into Nilly.
You've got to bring in cufflinks because that's the missing link. You've got
Ooh.
if you don't have your links linked, your cuffs linked,
Cuffs
then
linked.
you're kind of a
You're just
you're just all willy nilly.
wind,
You're
yeah.
letting your wrists show and expose to the
Ooh,
world.
how scandalous.
That's
Yeah, like this is
risque.
probably the days where
yeah.
you need to cover that fragile
Oh man.
skin
So
down
we're talking
here.
about
Yeah.
ladies' cuffs.
Well, men have
man.
some dainty little wrists as
just,
well.
just
Oh,
Exhibit A. Look at
heavens to
Daniel's
Betsy.
little wrists.
Look at those dainty little wrists. Cuff yourself.
Yeah, so
Links.
The
Links.
Links
links-
on.
yeah, but the reason they so when they first were making sleeves, they made them too
Ooh,
tight
Yeah.
On purpose.
on purpose, and then they're
So-
like, well, why don't we cut it? And then now let's fix that with a
It's like
that's
The Office.
I'm
where
confused on
Michael
the
cuts
whole
his pants
mind-
off and then
Oh,
reattaches
that's
them.
good.
the mindset
survival
on
one.
it. Oh yeah, and then I'm reattaching them.
I don't think the cuff link. I think. Oh gosh.
Can you guys? Can you just
start
think,
over for
can-
a second and redo this
I
again?
just hit record,
Shut
and
your
no, I'm kidding.
Dirty.
No, have you put any thought into just throughout the years attire for people and like how things have changed
evolved,
and become
less
what it
cuffy.
is, or
Right,
can you point to like one specific
baggy pants.
factor in that, or is it just an amalgam
Well, I do feel
Pop
like
culture.
of things?
I
Pop
feel
culture.
like the cuff link
Yeah.
is a very Victorian era moment. It seems very British, very formal.
Wait,
The-
cufflinks.
Yeah, cufflinks.
Okay.
Do you not know what it?
Who has worn?
Yeah, but
I've
Victorian era.
never worn a
era.
cufflink.
Okay, no, Victorian era. I think of the overcoats,
Right.
and then out of the little,
the
little
puffy pirate
yeah, the
thing?
little dainty.
You like
uh,
saying dainty.
yeah.
I will give you
That's what I think of Victoria era.
Like
the
doilies.
Victorian. Like doilies, exactly.
Right.
Doilies sticking out of your.
Mm.
I don't see cufflinks back then.
Okay,
You
so
don't.
later.
So they made their shirts to fit.
I'm just
correctly.
trying to get my answer down. So, anyways,
Oh, you're
Down
trying to get the
pat.
era.
but before I rudely interrupted, you were saying.
No, that's fine.
Well,
Okay.
but if you're going to, they had handcuffs before that, so they're using the word cuff way
Pre-
before.
I think
Cufflink.
that they had shackles. I don't think that
Ooh.
handcuffs
They
were
didn't know that wrists were called cuffs until later.
until some time. When were they called cuffs? Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyways,
You scuffed your wrists. You may say you've scuffed your cuff.
cuff.
The scuff
Scuffed
cuff.
your cuff there.
The scuff cuff. Mother,
Yeah.
I've scuffed my cuff.
Well, did you have your links on?
If you'd have kept your cufflinks on, you wouldn't have scuffed
Like
your
I
cuff.
told you, you stupid
All right,
little
so
boy.
The whole point of this show, I believe, is while we're off the cuffing,
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to.
So
trying
cuff
to
is a
hone
verb
in,
now?
Perhaps.
Oh, man.
About ready to cuff you out if you
Oh,
don't stop
very
your
good.
silly
No
little
cuffing, guys.
banter.
No cuffing.
That's good.
PG.
But I have yet to hear anybody put
Oh,
forth
yeah.
a
Which traditionally it is the
postulation of when,
Of where,
and
when,
why,
and why.
where.
when and why.
Which I believe is the purpose of this
Yes.
podcast.
Well, I'm just stuck on cufflinks because I feel like that
It's important.
is important. But then if
That's
yeah,
a good idiom. Just cufflinks.
cufflinks,
Yeah.
yeah, off the cufflinks. That's what I'm leaning towards. Your links.
If I may,
Yes, you may. Well,
so
you may. Yeah.
because
I'll allow it.
because our shirts now they have long button down shirts. The wrists, the cuffs,
Yes.
have 2 buttons.
Yep.
Just in case you wanted to unbutton and roll up your sleeves.
Yep.
When did that come into play? Did they make a shirt that didn't have those buttons, and who was like, "Hey, maybe I want to roll this up. My arms are hot."
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that
Yeah.
why they had the cufflinks so you could roll up, or did they just couldn't fit their arms in the sleeves?
I feel like I'm
Like they made them too tight, and then they're like, let's cut it. But then they're like, let's fix it with
How do
something
you
shiny.
guys put on your shirts?
I button them up.
typically over the head unless they're buttoned up.
All right.
Then I do my right arm and then my left.
Yeah, just with little kids who are like,
Yeah.
Oh, if you're
Dad, help me.
putting on,
You know, I can't put on my shirt,
okay,
so I'm just trying to figure out
mismatch
the
one
best
button.
way.
I mismatch the holes, so
Start,
that
and then
it's
but I
off,
do them all,
and then I start over.
realize
Yeah.
it.
Okay, very good.
Here's just a little shot in the dark here.
Oh.
You've got the cuff and the cuff link, to me symbolizing like formality and like, okay, it's very uppity. We're at a party in 1832, high aristocratic society. Off the cuff is the opposite. So the cuffs come off, the sleeves are rolled. It's an informal. Maybe
that's good.
the fisticuffs.
Cuff to
Fisticuffs.
cuff to cuff.
No, it's fisticuffs.
Fisticuffs, you
Cuff to cuff.
gosh. Cuffs on the mind.
I mean, that's
Cuffs up.
That's if they don't
Right.
roll up their sleeves. It's cuff to cuff, and then you roll them down.
Fisticuffs
And
is
it's,
if you roll down the sleeve. I'm just thinking maybe a fisticuff is like a little scuffle, scuff, cuff.
The rhyming, yeah.
But scuff and cuffle, they have to
If
be
this
connected.
is you,
Like, those guys are
Shakespeare.
in a bit of a scuffle.
Damn you.
but so just kind of off the cuff is the sleeves are rolled, the cuff link is off, and we have shifted from like order to perhaps chaos. You know, the arms are bared, and it's more working man. You know, not like white collar and blue collar kind of shift. White collar, you know, I don't know. So that's kind of where I'm.
or
honing
the
in.
cuffs are off like handcuffs, and this guy's a criminal escaping. He's
Sure.
off the cuff. He's on.
He's got to improvise.
He's like, oh, what do I do now? I'm free,
Sure.
and I am.
Did he break
On
out
the
off the
and
cuff,
he's
or
on
he
the-
was free?
He's on the lamb.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
And how
and
far
those
he's
don't,
going
and
to
those
ride
don't,
those
you
lamb.
can't ride very fast on those things.
Come on, little Billy.
Get going, you.
So would you say that the off the cuff, if you're going to the idea that you're now unhandcuffed, is it he's off the cuff? He was in prison and there was order and control, and now the
Let's take a moment to silence our devices, please.
That was just
Cue
a cue
the-
to get back on cue.
A cue to get back on the cuff.
Off.
That was to get back off the cuff.
Yep.
The ad we just did was on the cuff because I was reading from my notes on my cuff. Okay.
Ha 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 ha. Laughter. Add laughter here. Yep,
Isaac,
that's
add. Make that sound
a laugh
funnier.
track. Yeah.
Make my voice a little deeper. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. I want people to know that I have a beard
Right.
as they're listening to my voice. People have
Can
never
you
met me.
Maybe
Yeah.
say that I'm in a tank top.
He's
right
in a
now?
tank top.
And-
Yep. A little blue tank
some
top,
athletic
actually.
shorts.
Oh, and that was
Riding
another
high.
thing we brought up. I mean, I don't know if we want to patent this ourselves, but
Selves.
short sleeve cufflinks, just so you can have
Oh,
a
yeah.
little slit up here, just to show
That's
off
good.
a little bedazzle, if you
Yeah.
The
A
short
little.
cuffs.
A
will.
little.
If you want to roll them up a little more, you know, if it's getting hot,
Add
Right.
a little flair.
Well, you
I
already
like
talked
that.
about the pant cuff, one of your
Oh,
favorites.
wow.
right?
Why not do neck cuffs?
Well, that's I guess that's
Same.
kind of a bow tie. He's cuffed at the
Okay,
neck.
so just trying to
Anyways.
steer you back here.
Steer back from the
I feel
text.
like I've given two decent stabs here.
Oh, that's good.
Tom has
That's
also the prison escape artist.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna go with just his cufflinks are off. It's not he's not in like a suit and tie. It's more of just kind of a loose and goosey hanging with the boys at the bar.
I also
off the cuff.
provided some food for thought there about when the buttons
Were
the
invented?
cuffs were loosened, and then also about remember that doily comment.
Yeah, I remember. So Trav is our resident historian. He
Well,
says
and also
dates.
also the shackles and the handcuffs.
Right.
Huh?
When
What
do you
it-
think
but you
they went
said
from
these
When were
shackles?
those-
I know you
I
said
just-
interesting words.
Shackles, the handcuffs, though. When are you thinking?
Thoughts, huh?
What changed that?
Shackles and handcuffs.
That's the name of
Or
my
shackles
band.
for the feet? Were shackles for the feet?
Those are called ankle monitors.
Okay.
That's much later.
Barracks.
Barracks, right. What about those things when their head's through it and it goes over their heads and their hands are through the holes? and people throw tomatoes at their face.
That's stocks.
Stocks.
Yep,
Not
stocks.
cuffs, but
So
of
I'm
that's where
noticing a
stock market
trend
came
actually of nothing. Barrack, stocks, shackles. Nothing
What
really
else?
binds them except hands, I guess, and
The
necks.
hands that bind them.
Hands and necks.
Mm-hmm.
So are we saying
So yeah,
though,
shackles and handcuffs.
are cuffs meaning the material
Shackles.
of the end of a shirt, or because like handcuffs is just metal around the wrist? Like, what is cuff actually?
I
Is
think
it
it's something
this-
that is tightly
like a bracelet?
a brace cuff.
Whatever goes over your wrist,
Wrist.
Is a
becomes a
cuff.
cuff.
Okay,
That's why our watch is called cuffs.
cuff watch.
Watch yourself,
Ooh,
because
you're stepping on.
Solid ground.
time cuffs.
There we go.
Yeah, that probably didn't stick. Maybe it didn't stick.
No. So okay, the origin of it, off the cuff.
Right. So if I'm going with the cuff link, it would have to
He's
be
just
whenever
saying
Mr.
it's just-
Cuff.
Have you guys worn
Invented-
cufflinks or owned cufflinks before?
Never owned
I've
them,
never
never
owned
worn
any
them.
or worn
No,
them.
but I saw it on Peter Pan was my first experience
Yes,
with cufflinks.
he'd hit him.
Early they were using him as treasure in the Disney cartoon, and the dad's looking for him.
George.
Yeah.
He's
Yep.
curious.
George Darling, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So that was the treasure.
Mm-hmm.
I've never worn cufflinks either. Yeah.
So you're always off the cuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
But is it the social circles that you're in, where you're going? I don't think I've ever gone somewhere that I should wear cufflinks.
You would never have rolled
No,
with
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
That's-
Yeah.
You're not.
I don't think
sure.
any
But
of
like
us-
you guys,
Yeah.
you know, you
Just
guys who
on
wear tank
Saturdays
tops,
and
yeah.
late Friday
I mean,
nights.
sometimes
I
at the mini
typically
golf
will
on
do a
like
cuff.
special events.
Formal
and stuff.
Fridays.
Shorts and
You'll
Serious-
like
and
tape some
serious
cufflinks to your
Saturdays.
wrists.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Do we go?
You want me to
Is this
look
go
it
time?
up?
no,
Not yet.
none of
Oh,
us
you-
have
okay.
ever.
So when
feel like
so
we're
I'm
not
going
there
with
yet.
no cufflinks, but I got to think of when those were invented. So I'm going 1788.
Yep. I'm going 1875 cufflinks,
1875.
ivory.
1875, and we talked
gold,
about dates.
jewel.
Dan's a stickler on dates. He doesn't like them. Okay,
Well, I just don't think
He's
that
very
that's what we're
postmodern
trying-
in
what
his
we're trying
approach
do
to
here is
history.
figure out the date as much as the origin story.
off the cuff.
Oh right, so we got to come up with why someone said that.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder.
And
would
I've been-
soldiers have worn cuffs like British soldiers.
Why do I keep sticking to this chair, Tom?
'Cause
my-
you're sweating.
Did you
It's
eat
hot.
pancakes over here?
It's hot in here.
Oh, okay,
This
got
is
it.
my little hideout, so
Okay.
anything could
We're
happen.
gonna have to with our next.
smell
Can we get
maple.
sponsored
Yeah.
by like Frigidaire or some sort of air
Yeah.
conditioning company?
Or even like Febreze would be nice
No.
right now.
Be a start. I don't think it's.
Yeah,
gonna
it's a
cool
little
things
stale in
down.
Little
here.
dank.
Yeah.
No,
Muggy.
not much airflow in here.
A little dank.
There's only a window or
If
something.
only there was a window. We could cut a window in
I
here,
would
right,
let-
Tom?
Open
See,
a
I
little
feel
cuff.
Yeah.
One day it would be fun to do a video.
It would be
I'd
fun.
like people to see what I'm staring at because this
I
is
could set up some
such
a
cameras. Let's do it.
hodgepodge.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or one camera that's just constantly rotating in the middle.
Ooh, that's
and,
good.
and you got to
Called
kind
an
of
owl.
time it when it's on you.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Whatever you do and
That'd be
say.
kind of fun.
No, we'll get some cameras because we could find some fun
Okay,
angles.
so you're
So,
not going with the
the
prison
origin-
break. You're not going prison break.
No, I'm taking off
Just
the cuffs for a little fist
little
fight. Oh, he's
fisticuff.
going off the cuff.
Right.
He's.
Ad
What are you
libbing.
doing? I don't know. This guy wants to fight me. I'm at a
The
dinner
cuffs are
party.
It was pre the
He
gloves
made
are
he
coming
made
off.
fun of my girl's petticoat, and now the cuffs are coming off.
And my
Yeah.
And my
doily,
gloves.
probably his doilies.
Yeah,
made
I
fun
dropped
of.
my doily in the toily, and now this guy wants to fight.
Little petty, don't you think?
Yeah, a little petticoat.
What'd you say about her petticoat? Yeah, I could see that.
Did you say it was pretty? No, petty.
It's petty. Yes, a speech
Oh, why, thank
impediment. It's so petty. Oh,
All right, so
Okay.
that's kind of how it
Chester.
starts. Like,
Alright,
oh,
well-
going off the cuff. Let's just do this.
okay.
Gangs of New York style.
Right.
Very good
Thank
reference.
you.
Nice.
I've never seen it. I know you want me to.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we won't get into his the
Daniel
faces and the
Day-Lewis.
anger.
I've noticed and I do other things other
Besides
than
watch movies.
listens to this podcast. But with my guesses, I'm very literal.
Oh, like in a dark, seedy bar with smoke coming out of
Sure.
it.
Midnight blue
sky. Yep.
Orange.
I'm wondering though if I'm going with my original, if something is prepared, is that on the cuff then?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking maybe a wedding or something in the early 1800s, and Sir, well, we're in America, so Charles Robinson the Third or something, is at a fancy wedding, and he's been asked to prepare some remarks, and he has, and he's not going to hold up a piece of this is bad.
Right.
I'm wondering though if he's looking kind of on his cuff, but then he's overwhelmed with a sense of just inspiration, and he's speaking from the heart, and then he puts his wrist down and he's off the cuff.
It's like he's going off script.
Yep.
This is off the cuff.
Or it's all like when it's on your hand and he gets sweaty and smudgy, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh.
And he wipes his brow.
I guess
and ink
what
is
I was gonna
exactly.
say. I had it all written down, but anyway, I'm just going off the cuff.
The cuff here. But okay, from that though, I will say early 1800s. I think
close to late.
I think that
1700s.
clothing.
So knowing
at
your
that
answer
point,
is not even close, we're gonna now go back to our default mode of picking a date.
Well,
off the cuff. Why?
I said it. There are two guys picking a fight.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
And
So
they're going off the
since
cuff.
you kind
off
of
script,
right?
Like,
I don't feel like I have a good guess that will win me any money tonight.
Right.
So I don't know.
Okay.
But I do you know?
No, I mean I feel like what Tom said is what I would go with, is just this sort of. But since he already took that, I will take a gander at the cuff, the handcuff scenario where maybe there's some, the handcuffs are off. He's free to live his own life, free to do it my way.
Off the cuff. Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I.
Wow.
But I like, but I'm mid 1800s. I think that's just always a safe bet, since that apparently is so important.
Slang word for like snuff or something like that.
Cuff.
It could be
where you're off.
Snuff.
You're off.
I quit. Oh, I'm off cuff. How long you been off the cuff? Oh gosh, last time I cuffed. It's been several weeks now. I really tamped it down.
Do you go one more, Trav?
Okay, because earlier I did in a few episodes ago, I mentioned that our sources, we tried to find some legitimate ones, and of the books that I bought, I think I spent $80 on 6 books.
Trav, that's double our budget for the year.
I found one of them has off the cuff.
We were supposed to pay Isaac $80, and now we can't pay him anything.
Wait, this just says what it means.
Wait, you're looking it up?
I told you. The book I bought just says what it means too.
Okay.
So I have off the cuff meaning, definition, or origin.
We want origin. It's always origin.
It's always where did it come from.
Right.
Okay.
And I thought that. Never mind. All right, go ahead, Tom.
Wow, that was
I guess just
futile.
Google it. Well, here's what it says. Off the cuff, to do something spontaneously or without much preparation.
Mm-hmm.
An example: she made her speech completely off the cuff without a single note to refer to. I could never do that.
Like King Charles.
So, of course, there we are.
The third Robinson.
But I don't.
It doesn't tell you.
It doesn't
where it's
tell
from.
us.
All right. Well, let's go to this website.
All right, just a
Uncommon
useless.
knowledge. You've probably heard the phrase "off the cuff" as shorthand for something spontaneous. And
Shorthand.
unrehearsed.
I'd like to talk about that.
Oh,
ooh, that's
longhand.
good.
Because if you have a shorthand, you probably don't even have cuffs.
And you might also know that it stems from the pre-20th century practice of performers jotting lines on their shirt cuffs.
Hey.
Wow.
Hey. Thank you all.
No, we're not done. Let's
That's
see.
$10. $10 for it. Yep.
That provided discrete white spaces for notes.
And the crowd goes wild.
Curiously, the handy phrase may have been in use for decades before it appeared in print. Oh, not till in 1936.
Oh, it appeared in print then?
It appeared in print. That same year, Charlie Chaplin's classic film Modern Times, 1936, featured a scene
And here we
where
are with
Chaplin's
the films.
tramp
Wow.
writes lyrics on his shirt cuffs, only to have them go flying off once he hits the stage, leaving him to imprise to hilarious effect.
Travis is
So he had to-
Thank you guys.
Oh,
Literally
yeah,
thank
glowing. This is huge.
What a great
This is
night.
huge.
I'd like to
You
thank
want to
a
have
few
any
people.
off-the-cuff comments, Trav, for your victory lap?
Just for one, God.
Yeah,
Thank you,
obviously,
God, for
'cause
giving me
there's
this
no-
brain.
Wow. Yeah.
Here he goes again.
What else you got there, Tom?
That
Read
was
it. Read it
very
out
good,
loud.
but
Handcuffs.
I'm actually more concerned on when cufflinks were invented. So
Yeah, do it.
that will
Great.
be-
Yeah, that's very.
And as you're doing that,
and then someone look up
Travis
shackles.
I'm gonna look up shackles.
Wow.
Cufflinks have been popular for centuries.
First emerging in the late 17th century.
King
Oh,
Louis.
King Louis.
Of course it was King Louis, that sick, excessive debutante.
But
Their
if he was
history is
over here, we could say
inextricable
Louis, right?
From the shirts. Men have been wearing since the invention of woven fabric in 5000
no way.
BC. What a scam. It's a long time.
Wow.
But they were properly introduced in the 17th century. That's wild. The stitched buttonhole was developed, and tailors fastened these cuffs with two ornamental buttons attached by a chain. They were named by French tailors as boutons de manchettes, or sleeve buttons. Huh. Okay.
And why? Just for looks? It had nothing to do with loosening.
I don't know. I don't have time. That's a long. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's
it was like
true.
historical.
During the Industrial Revolution, there was an evolution of cufflinks.
A cuff, just so you know, is the end part of a sleeve where the material of the sleeve is turned back or a separate band is sewn on.
Oh.
So is a pant leg a sleeve?
No, it says sleeve.
I know, but it's the end of...
You don't call them pant sleeves.
Why not?
I don't. Do you?
Well, pant legs, but that's just saying that's what you put in it. We could say
Arm
sleeve.
But you don't have any sleeves, so I don't think you...
I shouldn't be right.
Yeah,
And I'm wearing shorts.
Sleeveless
exactly.
in Seattle.
So that's that'd be a good show.
I'm sure
Sleeveless.
you've seen that one. This is a little off the cuff kind of show tonight. Sleeveless in Seattle.
handcuffs and shackles.
Just
Yeah.
hang-
What's
So-
the difference?
But the difference between handcuffs and
Shackles.
shackle is that handcuffs is a fastening consisting of two metal rings designed to go around a person's wrists and connected by a chain or hinge.
Good.
While shackle is a restraint fit over a human or animal appendage such as a wrist, ankle, or finger.
Okay.
Usually used in
Finger
plural
shackles.
to indicate a pair joined
Okay,
by a
okay.
chain.
Okay.
A hobble.
So you wouldn't handcuff an animal, but you could shackle them. Okay.
Finger shackles.
Well, Trav,
Okay,
I
well-
will say I feel like it's been a while since we've actually had anybody actually hit it on the nose.
I thought I got in a pickle.
No, you were very far off from a
When you
person
don't
being
even know what a
trapped
pickle
inside
is,
of a
it's
cucumber.
very
That
difficult.
was actually a very enlightening episode.
That
That
was-
was great.
that was,
I really loved that one.
Super
Everyone
enlightening.
should check out episode 10 in a pickle.
Hands
right now.
down was good
Click
too.
like and subscribe down below. Underneath whatever you're watching or listening to,
For our
there'll be
younger
there'll
listeners,
be a button that
It
says
was lit.
follow
Yeah.
or like or subscribe.
subscribe
Some
or
will have a
download.
small
Find
heart.
us on your TikTok.
Look for 3 dots.
TikTok,
Click the
yep.
3
Really?
dots.
Exactly.
The
We're
3
go-
dots will say
we're going-
share.
we're going on
share
TikTok,
that to
yep.
25
We're going
of your
live on
best
TikTok.
friends.
We should.
And those 25 friends, if they share to their 25 friends, it's like one of those letters that you used to get.
It's like a pyramid
and then
scheme.
if you break
And
the
you
chain,
won't become bald.
Yep.
Ooh,
Yep.
nice.
If you share this, all right?
Wow.
I'm not saying that.
This is
it's
for
gonna
older
happen.
people or young?
I don't think that's gonna motivate
actually,
our
our
younger
demographic
listeners.
is yeah.
Trending old, like
Kinda
mom.
mid-age.
It
Like our
depends on the
moms.
platform, which is interesting.
So the younger crowd's doing what? Spotify?
But yes, you guys know my
TikTok.
Venmo handle. Cash check works either
Handle?
way. Huh? Venmo handle.
TBZ.
Yeah. No, it's Lil Triz.
Little
Triz.
trizzle.
Yeah, that's right.
Little trizzle my nizzle.
Don't say that.
Well, you said other things.
Cut it.
I like this
that was
we
great.
can tell Isaac during the show, just cut this.
And then
Yeah.
that won't be heard.
Right.
Yeah, but I have executive kind of.
But he could use
so-
some of them and just cut it.
Exactly.
That'd be kind of
That's a good little idiom. Cut it out.